We're in a two-way dilemma because we see the most blessed people on earth starving on our screens. And you know what's sad, subhanAllah? They see us in our Ramadan festivities. Wallahi, it's a strange world when you think about it. Can you imagine? And I was actually speaking to one of the brothers, subhanAllah, that's one of the journalists there. And he was talking about, subhanAllah, their extreme food habits. He's on Instagram. I mean, he's in Rafah on Instagram, and he has nothing to eat. And is watching other Muslims celebrating their iftars and talking about what they're doing and all types of stuff. So it's a two-way thing. We're exposed to them, and they're exposed to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our incapacity. Allahumma ameen. If that makes you a little sick in your stomach, it should. It should make all of us a little sick in our stomach. Now, we spoke about before Ramadan the crime of starvation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish those who are starving our brothers and sisters. The outward enemies and the hypocrites from within this ummah as well. Because the responsibility for their starvation is not just on one party. It's from multiple directions, unfortunately. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hold them accountable for what they're doing to our brothers and sisters. And may Allah forgive us for not being able to do more for them. Allahumma ameen. What do we do with these feelings? And this is what I want to come to, inshallah ta'ala, and give you a little bit. Number one, should it have some sort of a consequence on how we carry ourselves this Ramadan? Yes. Make your iftars a little less extravagant. Don't do the big parties this year. Try to limit a little bit more, and actually, especially when you're having iftar with your family, talk about why you're doing that, right? Let's bring it down a notch this year when it comes to the festivities of food, the festivities of iftar. Let's bring it down a notch, inshaAllah ta'ala, and let's remind ourselves of what's there. That's number one. Number two, make dua at the time of iftar with your family for those that are starving. Remind them of the blessing that's in front of them. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned an accepted dua لِلْمُؤْمِنِ حِينَ يُفْطِرُ, for the believer at the time that they break their fast. And this is a time of accepted dua. Make dua collectively as a family before your breaking of the fast. And specifically mention hunger. You know, when you make dua, you mention the favors that Allah has given to you. And then you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for specific things. So specifically mention the blessing of food that you have, and make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for our brothers and sisters over there. Bring it front and center to your conscience. Number four, if you can donate to your brothers and sisters, trustworthy organizations, and I'm not going to get started as to which organizations are trustworthy. Yes, by the way, anyone that's fundraising for Gaza right now, ask questions. Right? Do your homework. Look at the reputation of the organization. Ask questions about how they're getting food into Gaza right now. There are some that are getting food into Gaza, alhamdulillah. There are some that will be very transparent and say that they're storing at Rafah for the moment, and this is the intention, this is the future plan, alhamdulillah, khair. But donate to trustworthy organizations, inshallah ta'ala, and do your homework. Do your homework. And by the way, if you do your homework and you give money to a Gaza effort, and it turns out that they completely, misappropriate that money, your dua, inshallah ta'ala, your intention is sound. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from you. Do your homework, inshaAllah ta'ala, and definitely give. Number 6, remember the people that are hungry that are not in Gaza. And you can reach them. From your ummah, dear brothers and sisters. There are people in the Horn of Africa. There are people in Yemen. There are people in different parts of the world that are starving from your ummah, and you can reach them with your charity. Let this also be a time that you give to them, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And then even in your own neighborhoods, even here in Dallas, wherever you are, there are people hungry, Muslims and non-Muslims. Reach out to them, inshaAllah ta'ala. Participate. Let this truly be a month of appreciating the blessing of food and exerting ourselves in regards to the blessing of food, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And the last thing, dear brothers and sisters, commit yourself still to the cause, inshaAllah ta'ala. Whatever you were doing before Ramadan, keep on doing it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and do it even more, inshaAllah ta'ala.